the key here is, what if someone really doesn't want to grow Brussels sprouts and squash and garlic and carrots? Maybe that's not their dream garden, which I can appreciate you giving us a couple more examples of it. It's not necessarily those crops for you, but it's that concept, right?
Yeah.
Figuring that piece out and deciding what are your three crops, what are your four crops that are going to follow each other, basically.
Well, I think the unfortunate thing is when I say stuff like that, people think I'm giving them a planting plan, and that's not what
Hmm.
I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah.
And the reason why I say that is I started this, and no, it is not because I was successful, because I started this when I was failing at Brussels sprouts. The
Hmm.
way it evolved was with in conjunction with experience, the planter app, research, and all these things. What I figured out was, okay, you don't like Brussels sprouts, fine. What is the key with Brussels sprouts? They love nitrogen, right? They use a lot of nitrogen. So replace any plant with that, any plant. And then what's the key with squash? It doesn't need a lot of nitrogen. Okay, perfect, right? So what's the key with garlic and carrots? They don't need a lot of nitrogen either, but they're root vegetables. So they're using more, I got to say, right, potassium than the previous. So that's kind of how that unfolded. And then you combine that with the amount of time that they grow and the time of year they come out, and then you start to get your groupings.
Yeah.
So, for instance, if I was replace a nitrogen hungry crop from Brussels sprouts, let's pick lettuce. May not
Hmm.
be the best because I will, I'll get bolting and stuff like that. So, it you could pick like cabbage, broccoli, stuff like that. Here's another one I came up with this year, and I love this. In the greenhouse, you remember how I was doing the test for the carrots?
Hmm.
Or not the carrots, the potatoes in the fall. So I grew them in the
Oh
fall.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I grew them in the fall. I got a piss poor harvest. I mean,
Mm.
be honest, I left the potatoes sitting in there and ruined them after I harvested them. But I harvested them, and then I was like, okay. And I was just trying to see what was going to happen. And so then I replanted them. Well, then they got burnt by when it got cold in the greenhouse one night. So then I
Mm.
pulled those out. But then I turned around and I put broccoli in. Broccoli is doing great. Potassium loving um, potatoes with nitrogen hungry broccoli.